Hi, guys. Welcome to my weekly live stream, weekly plus a day. Sorry about that. I hope you guys will forgive me for rescheduling. But I had the opportunity yesterday to do something that I've always wanted to do, which was to go check out the world famous Japanese snow monkeys, also known as Japanese macaques. And so I couldn't pass that up. So thank you for your patience and for your understanding. And thanks for coming to my live stream today. So we'll give it a couple minutes before I really get into it, just to allow a few more people to log in. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay. And if you do get a chance, please don't forget to give this video a check your thumbs up, because that really does help the channel to grow. So yeah, hope everyone is doing well. Let's see. So it's been actually a pretty busy week so far. We've this is actually my last full week of active duty before I start my internship, my Skillbridge Internship, which I've talked about on this channel before. It's a program that's set up by the DoD to allow transitioning service members like me the opportunity to do an unpaid internship with a company. And so I was able to set one up with CKP on... I was able to set one up with CKP to do an internship, and that starts on Monday. So I'm very excited about that. So I hope, it looks like right now I've only got about 2 viewers, and I just got this comment. So no, I'm sorry, my friend, I am not going to come to you on your messenger. In fact, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of that. So nothing like starting off with a bang. Yeah. So it's a beautiful day here. Weather is starting to turn kind of spring-like. There's still like a little bit of a chill in the air, but yeah, it's sunny, and yesterday was a really cool day to do our drive. So tell you what, let's go ahead and we'll just hop in. I made a little slideshow for you guys to show you guys some pictures and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that up here. Let's do it like that, so you get a little picture in picture. So here's my, it covers up the title, but there's my title page for the slideshow. So this week I had the opportunity, earlier this week, I had the opportunity to go flying at Mount Fuji with my buddy Dave Shadoin, who's one of my co-authors, actually. We worked together writing the Alliance of Shadows story, Alliance of Spirits story in Talons and Talismans. So we went out to Mount Fuji and we surveyed a couple of the LZs there. This top picture, so that's Mount Fuji in the background. We're actually on one of the foothill ridges of it, standing in one of the LZs where we land. And I just thought that was such a cool picture. This other picture, the very misty blue one, was actually taken from the air, which is why it's a little bit blurry. We're quite a ways away, but you can see Mount Fuji poking up behind the ridge there. But I love this picture because the way that the mountains and the like haze in the air, it reminds me of all of those like really cool sort of, ancient Japanese paintings that show this very like watercolory, misty, ethereal sort of look. And I always thought that was sort of like a stylistic thing. But it turns out the mountains in Japan really look like that. because of the haze in the air, because there's so much moisture and stuff. So anyway, I just thought that was a cool picture. I thought that I would show you guys that. So then yesterday, as I was saying, we went to a place called Jigokudani Hot Springs and Snow Monkey Park. And sorry, you can see I'm like, oops, that's not the layout I want. Where to go? There we go. So yeah, so that's what was covered up there. And this is like at the entrance to the park there. It's got this little stone monkey with the little hot springs symbol on him. And I just thought that was such a cool little picture. And then this is on the way in. So what we did was we drove for about 3 hours up to the Nagano area, and we parked at an onsen, which is like a Japanese spa. We didn't actually go into the onsen, but we parked there, and then there's like was it like, I think they said it was like 2 kilometers, but I'm not sure it was really that far. But we kind of had to hike up this path up to where the spa was. And then I didn't get a good picture of the spa, but just behind it, there's this geyser. And this is a picture of the geyser down here. And it continuously erupting. It's not like Old Faithful where it happens, every periodic. It's continuously going. So that's actually steam coming out of the ground, or water vapor coming out of the ground. And it's part of this whole area is very, I guess, seismically active, because there's hot springs, and Japan is a chain of volcanic islands, so you can get that here. So that's a picture of one of the geysers, in this area. So what the information that they had at Jigokudani actually means Valley of Hell, and this geyser is one of the reasons for it. There are other ones that we didn't see, but just like if you go to Yellowstone National Park, people say it looks like a hellscape because you've got steam coming out of vents in the ground, and these bright colors and water boiling, just sitting on the ground. I think it's very beautiful, but that's what apparently the impression that people get, because of all the heat, I guess, is that it's sort of hellish. So Jigokudani means Valley of Hell, and that was the name of this hot springs area, kind of this resort. So what had happened was people loved these hot springs, and they created an onsen. Like I said, it's like a Japanese spa there with these pools for people to bathe in. And they found that these young Japanese macaques would come and like hang out there and like bathe in the pools. And so the owners of the establishment, they didn't really want that there. So they decided to go build the monkeys their own pool. And so that they would keep the monkeys separate. And I got a picture of it, but it didn't come out very well. But there was this cool sign that was like, hot springs for humans that way, hot springs for monkeys that way. So it was very cool. Excuse me. So this was after we walked up the path. And you can see here on this picture on the left, this little rock wall here. It was in a very like steep sort of ravine-like valley that had a river at the bottom of it. But this is one of the pools that they built for the monkeys. And I've got another picture of the hot spring that like flows down into it. So this is a man-made pool here. And on both of these slopes, both on this side and over here on this side, there's just a ton of these snow monkeys just hanging out. And it was very obvious to me that they were very used to humans, that they, you can see these ones here, these are all juveniles, and you can tell that they were born, and like almost from the time that they were born, they were used to people, because it did not bother them at all that we were right there next to them. They would not come up to us to interact with us. It was almost like we were just sort of furniture, but I literally had one brush by my leg as I was walking, down this path. So anyway, we came up one side of the valley, and then there's this large bridge that spans the bottom of the gorge there, and it leads right to the base of this pool. So here's a little bit closer look at the pool itself. And you can see there's like 4 or 5 of them. Well, more than that, it looks like, sitting, around the edge. And then there's like 2 or 3 actually sitting in the water, just bathing in the hot spring because it feels good because it's warm. So obviously it was March. Yesterday was March when we went there. So the snow is starting to melt, and it's starting to get a little warmer, but it was still, I mean, we were up fairly high. I don't know what the exact elevation was, but we were up fairly high enough that there was still snow on the ground. And so it was definitely cooler. You know, we had, like, the kids had heavy coats on and stuff. And I was glad that we had dressed warmly, but you can see the steam rising off the pool. You could smell it. It smelled a little sulfury, but not overwhelmingly so. But yeah, it was really, really neat to see all these monkeys interacting. So here's another shot of those three little ones. These three were, like, always together, and they may be siblings. From what the information that they had there is, they said that the group that lives in this area are mostly females, because it said that the females will, you know, adult females will have a baby about every other year, and they you know, it'll take I think it said about 2 years for a baby to grow up, and then the females will stay with their mothers, and they form, like, these interconnected family groups, right? So, you know, like, the sisters will have babies and they'll still hang out. So this community that lives in this area are mostly female. And then in the fall, the adult males, you know, once the juvenile males grow up, they leave the community and they go out, and they're much more solitary. So in the fall, they come back and find their mates and, you know, do the thing. And then in the spring, new babies are born. So, but yeah, there was this trio of little ones that were hanging out on this bridge, and, you know, wrestling with each other and tussling with each other and stuff like that. And then I absolutely loved this picture on the left here. This was a mother, and she was holding her baby. And at a certain point in the day, right before we left, the wind kind of kicked up and it came whipping through this canyon. And she was holding her baby, and she was nursing, and the wind came, and she, like, turned to, like, you know, present her back to the wind to protect her baby. And that's what she's doing right here. So that's her baby that she's nursing. Yeah, do the thing. But that's her baby that she's nursing. And she has just turned to block the wind from getting her baby there. So obviously, if you guys have read any of my books, you know that the bond between mother and child is a big deal for me. And the protective instincts of a mother are a big deal for me. So I wanted to honor her. Honor this mother with that picture. Yeah. So yeah, do the thing. Yeah. So is that? Oh yeah, that's it. We'll talk about the next slide here in a minute. So that's just a few of the pictures that I have. I also took some video. So I'm going to try my hand at editing and splicing those video clips together, and hopefully sometime in the next couple of weeks, I'll have a video to put up on my channel about Jigokudani, the Jigokudani hot springs there. So I think that I will also, in my newsletter next week, put out I think I'll include a short video clip in the newsletter itself. So if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, first of all, please go do so. You're missing out on so much fun. But yeah, hopefully there'll be a cool video clip in there too. So yeah, so that was the Monkey Park. Let's see, what else should we talk about? This week on the work in progress front, I have been mainly working on a short story for Marisa Wolf. And one of the things, this is one of the things that is kind of cool about this, is that Marisa is one of my best friends. I probably have, so my husband is my overall best friend, but I probably have about two women that I would call my best friends, and one of them is Marisa Wolf. And this story is about a woman who is, it's set in the Hit World universe that was created by William Webb and Larry Hoy. And the main character of my story is a woman named Raina, who has never really allowed herself to develop a strong, trusting friendship with anyone, let alone another woman. And that's a fairly common dynamic that I've run into in my life, just with women that I've known, with myself, my mom. So, Leah says, speaking of good friends, Leah says, while you were talking about the park, I was looking back over my pictures from there. Good times. Yeah, it's very cool. very cool place. But yes, so this character in this story has never really trusted anyone enough to be like that really good friend. And I'm finding this is a case of sometimes you think you're going to write a story and you think it's about one thing, but you realize that it's really not about that thing. It's about something else. And it turns out that this story is about best friendships and what does that mean? And how do you choose to let someone be a good friend, and what does it take to actually trust them and stuff. So, and I confess, like, I'm always sort of fascinated by I'm fascinated by the dynamic of friendship anyway, just because I think it's so essential to who we are as people. But the thing about your best friend, right? What makes your best friend your best friend? Like, what is it that elevates that friendship? That's, I don't know, that's the kind of thing that's fascinating to me. So if you have thoughts to share, throw them in the comments or shoot me an email or whatever, because that's the kind of thing that's really interesting to me. Seth says it's the hair. I assume you're talking about my husband's hair. So Seth is my husband's best friend. So, and yeah, Easy does have really good hair, especially when he first wakes up in the morning. It's epic. So, but yeah, I think in this case, for this story, I think it's about for Raina, at least, I think it's really about trust, like trusting someone to know her and know who she really is and what it can do. That's the big hurdle for her. And once she's able to be vulnerable enough to trust, that's when things are going to start going her way. Carrie wants to know, Hit World, is that the one with Assassination Legal? Yes. So the overall premise of Hit World is kind of crazy. It's basically that, like, it's sort of an alternate history, I guess, or alternate future history. If that's a thing. I don't even know. But the premise is that the attacks of 9/11 essentially decapitated the American government, and what came up in its place was a series of events and decisions that essentially led to the legalization of assassination, if it's done through proper channels. And so, yeah, so that's where we are. Marisa is doing it's a shared world universe. It's very, very cool. I, once again, did not prepare well enough. Otherwise, I would have had book covers to show you guys. But I will leave links in the description of this video for the first book's called The Trashman. It's by William Allen Webb, and it's really, really good. Oh no. Oh, I am so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I have to watch the recording. This is breaking up for me. Okay. I hope it's all right. Isn't it also urban fantasy? It is, but I think that's sort of like not really on the download. I mean, I think people know about it now, but initially it's supposed to be like a thin veneer of like alternate history noir with urban fantasy underneath is my understanding, John. So like modern day Ankh-Morpork. I am not familiar with that. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Maybe. So, okay. Seth says the audio is good here. Okay, good. All right. But yeah, so again, shared world universe, and then Marisa is doing a project within that universe called Hit World Valkyries. So, so that's what this story is part of. So, okay, Leah's got me loud and clear. Cool. So yeah, that's I am about 5,000 words into that. It's gonna run. The minimum target was 8,000, but I think it's gonna run over that. I think it's gonna be closer to 10. So Terry Pratchett, Discworld. I read some of the Discworld stuff. Like, I think I started some of it, but then I don't know, something happened, and I think I only read like the one book, like Night Watch or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not super well versed in Terry Pratchett, but that's something that's been on my perennial to be read. It's like, oh, I should read these someday. Yeah. So yeah, on the so that's what I'm working on writing wise. In addition to that, as I said, next week I start my Skillbridge internship, and I'm very excited about that. So what does that mean? Well, it means that 3 days a week I will be writing full time, Monday through Wednesday. My job will, from 8 to 4 will be to get up and write. And I'm going to be working on a new project with that under the mentorship of Chris Kennedy from Chris Kennedy Publishing. The intent of this is to become a shared world of my own that I can invite people in. And I don't want to give too many details about it, but it's a space opera. So I'm kind of excited to branch out into that genre. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So that'll be Monday through Wednesday from now until I retire. That's what I'm going to do. And then on Thursdays, I'm going to fly because I'm not quite ready to give that up yet. And then on Fridays will be like, office day and appointment day and stuff like that. So that's what's going on with that. Other notes on the transition front. Still working on a lot of the kind of administrivia stuff, like moving back to the States, figuring out, okay, what are we going to do about a vehicle, figuring out the logistics of how are we going to get from here to, where we're building a house in the Richmond area, in Richmond, Virginia. Are we going to stop along the way and see family? How long are we going to stay for? How are we going to get our pet from point A to point B? There's a lot of details to be handled. And it's kind of funny because I had someone ask me the other day, how is it retiring from, it was actually my first sergeant. He goes, how is it retiring from here? And I was like, dude, I feel like I'm writing, like I'm the first one to ever do it. And I know that I'm not. That's the problem, right? Like, I know that there have been other people who've done this, but there's no like continuity. There's no store of information or like point of contact that I can go to and be like, hey, how does this work? Right? Like, who do I need to talk to solve this problem? And it's one of those situations that is, to be honest, a little bit frustrating because like, I'm happy to do my own legwork. I just need to know where to go. And I feel like I shouldn't have to be figuring this out myself. Because again, there have been other people who've done this. So it seems a little ridiculous to me that I'm essentially reinventing the wheel. So that being said, I'm trying to kind of keep good records and pass things along so that I can at least have, something to give to someone to say, hey, next time you get someone who's trying to retire from overseas, here's the things that they need to do. But it is not an organized or streamlined process, which is something that is a bit of a personal pet peeve for me. So I don't like it when things don't work. I want them to work. Like, know what your job is and do your job, right? Like, how hard is that? So, anyway, that's I don't mean to get going on a rant there. So, but yeah, handling these details and such will continue until the point when I'm on a plane, basically. And to be honest, after that, because once we get to the States, we'll have to get, new ID cards and new driver's licenses and we're getting a new house, and there's all kinds of stuff with that. Last week we talked a little bit about like kind of some of the emotional sides of doing this, and I think that that's something that that's funny. Have I tried percussive maintenance? You can only go so far with that before it becomes a felony. But thanks for the tip. But yeah, speaking on the emotional sides of things, there's a lot of anxiety and I can see why people get very stressed out, having to deal with this, because there's questions that need to be answered. And one thing that the military is pretty good at is giving you answers to the questions like, where do I need to go next? who do I need to talk to when I get there? And there's just not that for this situation, you know? So I'm kind of trying to, trying to stay balanced with regard to not letting myself get too anxious about all this stuff, trying not to stress about things that I can't control. And I have a couple of tools for doing that, right? Big ones for me, things that seem to work for me are exercise is a big one. I've been, you guys are going to laugh at me. This is super nerdy. But I've been exercising. Easy got a VR set for Christmas. And I've been using that for my exercise because it's so much fun. I love like the little dance beat saber game where you have these imaginary lightsabers and you smash these little blocks as they come flying at your face. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. But it is, I mean, like it's a valid cardio workout, right? So I've been doing a lot of that. I've been trying to make sure that I get sleep. That is harder sometimes. I will be honest with you. Sleep has always been a difficult thing for me, especially because my circadian schedule has been disrupted all the time. So that's been a little harder, but that's something that I'm really trying to watch out for. I'm trying to I'm trying to look at it like, so there's sort of two definitions of self-care, right? And self-care seems like I don't know, it's sort of a buzzword and people don't really like to use it. Yeah, Oculus. Yeah, that's what we got. And it was fun. It's very fun. But yeah, people like to throw around the term self-care for all kinds of things. I am trying to keep it in mind as not percussive maintenance, but essentially preventative maintenance for the care and feeding of me, right? So trying to make sure, again, good sleep, good exercise, that I'm eating good food, that I'm doing things that that bring me joy and energize me, like going, taking a road trip to go see snow monkeys and eating like amazing food. Oh, I forgot to show you guys a picture. I have a picture of this apple pie that we had yesterday. It was amazing. Speaking of good nutrition. but that's part of it too, right? Like everybody needs a treat from time to time. So I'm, as far as like checking in on the emotional piece of my transition, that's kind of where I'm at, is that I am seeing some pitfalls ahead, and I'm trying to prepare myself to be able to handle them. Oz says, I know you're not a drinker, but I'm drinking 16 ounces of Ozcare. Hey man, like you're the one with the manual for you, right? So no judgment here. Yeah. Yeah. So that's where we're at as far as transition goes. Next week I am flying, and like I said, on Thursday, I don't know what we're doing yet. I think we might just be flying in Tokyo. So I might see if I can get some good Tokyo pictures to show you guys if you'd be interested in that. If you are, let me know in the comments. One of the things that I think that I'll do is in my weekly newsletters, I think I'm going to add a section kind of where I talk about, because I kind of did something like this during NaNoWriMo in November. But I think I'll add a section where I talk about, hey, this is where I was at the beginning of the week, this is where I am at the end of the week, kind of like a running word count. So again, if you haven't joined my newsletter, go join it. It's fun. We're going to have a lot of good stuff. Yes to Tokyo pics. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely take Tokyo pics. And even if I don't fly in Tokyo, I've got some that I've taken before that I will put on here if that's something that you guys want to see. So, all right, real quick, I'm going to check in on Discord. I don't think we have any questions on Discord. Does not look like it today. If you don't know what I'm talking about, again, join the newsletter because if you join my newsletter, you will get 2 free stories. And you will also get access to my exclusive Discord channel, where like to hang out and chat with people, and we talk about creativity and, you know, celebrate the wins in our lives and talk about my books and just all kinds of stuff. It's a really great place. So yeah, you should come check that out. And again, I will leave a link for joining the newsletter in the description box below. So that is about all that I had to talk about today. Once again, I just want to thank you guys for your patience and for your indulgence in letting me slip this a day so that I could go have some adventures yesterday with my family and my friends. Want to give a quick shout out to, again, my friend and co-author, Dave Shadoin, who not only did I go fly to Fuji with last week, but he and his lovely wife actually were the ones who invited us to go to Nagano yesterday. So we traveled with them and we just had a blast. They're a lot of fun to explore with. So, oh, there's one more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm not going to do this all the time because like, I don't really want, yeah, Leah knows him. But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to do this all the time, but I, you know, because I don't necessarily want the focus of this channel to be marketing, but I am going to share with you guys. I made a new friend. His name is Mike Jack Stombos. Sorry if I said that wrong. And he just released book 3 in his series with Chris Kennedy Publishing. So the first book is called The Signal Out of Space. It's the This Fine Crew series, and it's awesome, right? It's like kind of like a, you know, the Misfits means science fiction. It's a bunch of disparate species kind of thrown together as a crew and going on and doing their adventures. And book 3, the completion of the trilogy, just came out yesterday, or well, 2 days ago here, but yesterday for you guys in the States. And it's called Seed in the Sky. It's available now. I will leave a link in the description. Please go check it out, you guys. Mike Jack is a, like I said, he's a new friend. I met him online in one of our author chats, and he's also from the Richmond area. So, you know, yay for making friends that you can be friends with in real life too. So yeah, definitely go check that out, especially if you're into, you know, space and cruise and things like that. So, all right, man. Well, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great week. I can't wait to see you guys again next week. Thank you again for joining in, and join the mailing list. Give me the Chuck Yeager thumbs up, and come hang out on the Discord. Let me know if there's things that you want me to address. Questions for me, questions about my work, questions about my life. If there are questions about my life, I will consider answering them. Oh, this is an interesting question. What are my thoughts on Brandon Sanderson's Kickstarter? I think it's awesome, man. Like, seriously, get some. Brandon Sanderson, I think, is he and his team did a phenomenal job with the marketing for the Kickstarter, with the way that they launched the video. You know, the man has done a ton of work, obviously, in writing like 6 secret novels over the last 2 years, like in addition to his regular job. You know, yeah, I'm super happy for him, and I think it's exciting that, you know, this is definitely bringing a lot more attention to the idea that, you know, you can be successful self-publishing, you can be successful indie publishing. I too would love to be able to raise $15 million for some secret books. But you know, one day maybe, right? Like, it's all about building that audience, and Brandon Sanderson has put in the work to build the audience, and so he's capitalizing on it. Yeah. Oz says it could be a watershed moment for self-publishing and small publishers. Absolutely, right? Like, it's very exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes, right? And what comes out of it. Yeah, I'm excited for him. I've never read his books, so I don't know if I'm a fan. I suspect that I probably will be, because a lot of the people whose taste I trust, sorry, words, they're hard, really like Sanderson and Sanderson's work. But again, it's that to be read list is always growing, and then it sometimes conflicts with the to be written list. So yeah, you know how that goes. Yeah, I think it's great. I'm excited for him. So, and I'm excited to see what happened, kind of what the second and third order effects are. So yeah, his lectures on writing are good. Yes, I've heard that too. I've seen parts of some of them, just, clips here and there, mostly from, because he puts his lectures up on YouTube. So you can go check those out actually, if you want. So Stormlight Archive. I know, man. I know. Yeah, I reject your shame. I feel no shame. So, right on, man. Solidarity, right? To be read versus to be written. Pick one. So, yeah, that's a great question. So, Eric, hey, my friend Eric Esper is here. Cool. Yeah. Oh, something else I was going to talk about. Let's talk about cons for a minute, shall we? If you are not familiar with the concept of a science fiction fantasy convention, I am about to blow your mind. So there's a couple of conventions that I am going to try and get to this next year as I come back to the States. I have a membership and a room for LibertyCon. However, what I do not have yet is a reservation to fly back from Japan. So depending on when I get that, and that is not up to me, that is 100% up to the Air Force. I may or may not be at LibertyCon. I'm going to try my best. So I may or may not be at LibertyCon this June. However, I will be at Dragoncon in September, first week in September, over Labor Day weekend. I'll be an attending pro. I'm very excited about it. Dragoncon is a lot of ways like my home, right? It was the first convention I ever attended. It's the largest convention I attend, and it's I'm just really looking forward to it. So we're planning on being at Dragoncon. I also am attending. For those of you who are also writers, I'm also attending 20 Books 50K in Vegas because I've been promising for years that I would go. So that's in November. Looking forward to that one as well. And other than that, FactoryCon. FactoryCon is October. Oz, help me out. I think it's October. But yeah, if you're planning on going, Bob! Oh my gosh! You guys, Bob Post is here. Bob is one of my very favorite people. He is, he was my deployed dad, right? Yeah, my supervisor. No, I didn't. Because I'm going to be retired. What's up? So excited. So, okay, yeah, October. So FactoryCon will be in North Carolina in October, second to last weekend, maybe, we think. So yeah, that's what I'm planning right now for 2023. Thank you so much. And then or for 2022, 2023, kind of still up in the air, but more than likely I will be at Fantaside 23 and LibertyCon 23, Dragoncon 23 for sure. I'm also thinking about adopting MarsCon since I'll be in the Richmond area. More to come on that. So I will have details on my con appearances in my newsletter. So once again, please join the newsletter. You're missing out if you don't. I'm telling you, we have so much fun. So, but yeah. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys there, right? Like I love interacting with people at conventions. It's one of my favorite things about this job. So, all right. FenCon in Dallas. Ooh, not this year. Not potentially. That one's on the list of ones that I would like to catch at some point too, because I do have a lot of friends in the area. So yeah, let me know either in the comments or, like I said, shoot me an email. Let me know if there's a con that you think that I should consider. A lot of it will depend too on whether or not I get a flying job and what my schedule will be. It's sort of like a good news, bad news situation if I get a flying job, right? Because the good news is like, hey, I have more money to go to cons. The bad news is, I actually have to go do the job sometimes. So, we'll see. But yeah, it's great to talk to all of you. probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. Bob, I am going to hit you up on Messenger as soon as I hit end on this because I want to talk to you. So stand by, please. All right. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope that you find some time to do something fun for yourself, something that is going to, fill you up and energize you. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye. It's ending, I promise.